What's up, everybody? Welcome to the final Q&A Hangout of 2024. Time flies when you're having fun. Your team is in the midst of a dynasty and they're chasing a three-peat. Seems just like yesterday. It was January 1st, 2024, and the Chiefs were about to be in the playoffs. We were unsure about what things could look like. They were going to be a wild card team. They were going to have to play the Dolphins at home. They were then going to have to turn around, play the Bills in their stadium, turn around, play the Ravens in their stadium for the AFC Championship game, and then go on to play whoever it was again. They've been to so many Super Bowls, can't keep track. It was 49ers again. But it's just the year flew by. The Chiefs won back-to-back Super Bowls. We had the offseason, we had the draft, we had training camp, preseason, and the season is now almost done. The season finale is literally on Sunday, about 4 to 5 days away. Math is not my strong suit, but it's on Sunday. Today's Tuesday. And before we know it, the Chiefs are going to play their last regular season game. You're going to get a first round bye. Then you're going to be getting ready for the divisional round against whoever. It could be the Texans. It could be the Steelers. There's a shot it could be the Bengals, depending on how things play out. I don't think that is super likely. Could even be the Dolphins. But the Dolphins, if they make it in, or the Bengals, if they make it in, they would have to beat the Bills in the wild card round for the Chiefs in order for the Chiefs to play them. So we'll see about that. But this is the last stream of 2024. I do want to talk a little bit in this stream about who the Chiefs could be playing and starting for Sunday's game, because you're going to rest some of your key starters. We're actually just going to take a look down the Chiefs roster and just look at everybody and say, oh yeah, that guy's on the roster. He's going to get some more snaps. Then I have DeAndre Hopkins on the thumbnail of this live stream. And you might be thinking, well, Cole, why on earth would DeAndre Hopkins be playing? He's one of the starters. That's probably not going to happen. Well, as you'll see here in a minute, I'm just finding the tweet. DeAndre Hopkins has an incentive he could hit if something happens in this Week 18 matchup, so there is a reason why he could potentially see some targets and even a little bit of playing time. I definitely want to talk about that and just hang out with you guys. It's a little bit shorter of a stream. It's New Year's Eve. Everybody's hanging out, getting ready for the new year. I'm going to have tomorrow off, me and editor Troy and editor Alex. Going to spend time with the fams and all that fun stuff, but I didn't want to move the Tuesday night Q&A. I just wanted to hang out with you guys for a little bit and then celebrate New Year's Eve with Danny, New Year's with the fam tomorrow. But I hope you guys are doing absolutely fantastic. It felt weird not to do a live stream on the last day of 2024, just to say thank you guys for another fantastic year. Just like looking back, one of the best memories, aside from just what the Chiefs have been doing, has been you guys, has been the support of Chiefs Kingdom, all that we've kind of just grown and built together in 2024. It just has been absolutely incredible, and couldn't have done it without you guys. We started Cole Breaks the Huddle, the second channel, and just it's been awesome. And yeah, I just wanted to take this time to really say thank you, and I appreciate each and every one of you guys being in here. I actually felt like I almost said an idiot. I felt like a dummy. I scheduled this stream like an hour ago, but it was accidentally unlisted. It defaults to your last settings, and when I do members-only streams, I set them as unlisted, then move them to members. And I forgot to move it back to public, so that's on me. You guys have had 5 minutes notice, but we have 350 in chat. Jennifer, thanks so much for the 1231 in honor of the last day of 2024. Jennifer, holding it down almost every single stream, as always, one of the faithful mods. Kino with the 5. Happy New Year from Germany. Happy New Year to you too, man. Thanks so much. King Zach, best channel in the building, and also F the Bills and the Bengals. Thanks so much for the membership renewal, man. I mean, at the end of the day, it really is much respect to those teams. I do have respect for Joe Burrow, Jamar Chase, T. Higgins. I do have respect for Josh Allen, James Cook. There's some guys on the defense, too, that are balling out as well. And then, obviously, Keon Coleman's having a decent rookie year when he's not been hurt. Amari Cooper was a good pickup for the Bills as well. But yeah, at the end of the day, when they actually play each other, screw those teams. I don't want them to win. I don't want them to succeed. You know, it's all respect until game day. We like to troll around and have fun. The media likes to do the disrespecting, and we like to try to shut that down. You know, a lot of the disrespecting these days is, oh, the Chiefs, this and that. They're not dangerous. They're fraudulent. They're not like blah, blah, blah. Like, I don't buy that. It's fake. Like, that's some fake news if you want to talk about fake news. Mike Tilson, thanks so much for the membership. KC Lion Squad with the 2. Give D-Hop a TD and pull him. Happy New Year. Thank you so much, man. And Scott, I appreciate the membership as well. Since you mentioned D-Hop, let's just pull this up real quick here. D-Hop could see some playing time because of this. DeAndre Hopkins needs just 1 touchdown to earn $500,000. He faces the Broncos, who allowed 3 passing TDs last week. One thing to note, there's a chance Hopkins sits as a key starter in Week 18. And some people in the comments are, I asked, like, surely, or I kind of said, surely KC rests him, right? If not, D-Hop red zone targets are indeed incoming. And a lot of people said, hey, if they're going to let Chris Jones play Week 18 last year to chase his sack incentive so he could get that bonus, I would assume they would potentially let DeAndre Hopkins play too. When they do that, if he does that, like, I just hope he doesn't get hurt, doesn't get injured. We want everybody to stay safe. We want everybody to stay healthy. And, hey, if he could get a nice little touchdown catch, $500,000 bonus, that's fine with me. And I'm sure that would be fine with you as well. Kyle with the 5. I keep bugging you, but do you have it? We have not gone to the UPS store. My wife had a tooth infection, was down all weekend. She finally got a root canal yesterday, and she's doing better, but she handles all that and has been down for the count. She's up today, feeling a little bit better, but no, we'll have to do it next week, man. Sorry, we haven't been to the UPS store. We're a little delayed on the packages that we need to send out as well, but Danny is doing better, thankfully, and so we're going to spend tomorrow as a family and then get ready for a great 2025, and we'll definitely go to the UPS store, no doubt. But thank you, man. We'll get it, promise. All right, so let's talk about a little bit also. Thanks for the 5 as well. Let's talk a little bit about Chiefs. Who plays, who rests. I mean, we could just kind of go like this and just talk through it. I'm not going to spend a ton of time on here, but like if Creed Humphrey plays, it's going to be a series or 2. Like, I don't know that Trent McDuffie sees much playing time at all, but like these are some of the guys you want to get more work in with. Chris Roland Wallace, Keith Taylor, Joshua Williams. Like, maybe not Joshua Williams as much, but these guys are going to rotate in for sure. The rookie Jaden Hicks, he's in the rotation already, but he will get more playing time. Like with Chris Jones probably not playing, Minihue not playing a lot of snaps, maybe even Mike Dana not playing a lot of snaps. You're going to see somebody like FAU get a ton of snaps out there. Malik Herring will probably be active for this game when he hasn't been. Marlon Tuipulotu will probably be active in this game, and he has barely been active. Then there's another guy. Who's the other guy? Joshua Uche. Joshua Uche, I think, is maybe listed as an outside linebacker on the roster, perhaps, which is why I'm not seeing him here. But he will probably be active, and we'll see some playing time from him as well. So that'll be kind of exciting. You're not going to see much from Mike Pennell, who's nursing the hamstring. Probably not a lot from Turk Wharton. You can't rest everybody. Okay, it's not like they have a 90-man roster for preseason, and they have enough to rest everybody or play 1s and 2s and 3s every quarter. Like, a lot of these guys are still going to have to play, but you're not going to see as many snaps. You're going to get some of these guys that I'm mentioning way more snaps. Marlon Tuipulotu, Joshua Uche, Malik Herring, Felix Anudike-Uzama. Like, these guys are going to be rushing the passer a lot. And you're playing a Denver Broncos team who really wants a win. They win, they're in to the playoffs. Bo Nix, all the starters are playing, every single one of them. Zach Allen, both sides of the ball. You're going to have dogs out there really going after it and trying to beat the Kansas City Chiefs. I would imagine the Chiefs are underdogs by 7 to 10 points. They're going into Denver without their key starters. Like, Carson Wentz is going to play. We'll get there. But yeah, there's a chance the Chiefs can win this game, but the Broncos are going to pull out all the stops. They want to win this game so they can get into the playoffs. Carson Steele, he might be one of your primary running backs. And then, maybe you're calling up a running back from the practice squad. Perhaps you can only get a couple of elevations, but like, you're probably going to give Kareem Hunt rest, right? You're then probably going to give Isaiah Pacheco rest as he nurses that rib injury. So maybe you do see like a Keontae Ingram called up or something and a Chris Oladokin. But if you can only have 2 elevations, I'm going to be curious to see if Steven Nelson is one of those guys. because he's a cornerback that you could maybe want to see in the rotation. That's the guy that they signed to the practice squad a few weeks ago, and people were like, oh, he could maybe be the rotational piece helping offset the pressure and the workload of Najee Johnson, Joshua Williams, some of these guys that have been called upon in the absence of Jalen Watson, offsetting them with Trent McDuffie. If Steven Nelson is going to be a part of this defense in any way, shape, or form in the playoffs, I need to see that guy in this game. If not, he's just going to be a use in case of emergency guy. I don't know what else. Like, how could Steven Nelson get real snaps in a playoff game without getting any snaps this season? He was a free agent until a few weeks ago. Trey Smith, he might play a little bit. Joe Thuney, we'll see. If Joe Thuney plays, maybe he's at left guard. And if DJ Humphries, the left tackle that the Chiefs signed a few weeks ago, that's been nursing the hamstring injury, I hope he can go. He's probably the one that needs the reps the most. If the Chiefs are going to go into these playoff games with the front five being potentially DJ Humphries, Joe Thuney, Creed Humphrey, Trey Smith, and Jawan Taylor, DJ Humphries has to play in this game on Sunday. I feel like it is very important. Nick Bolton might not get as many reps. You've got Leo Chanel. Cam Jones is probably going to see a lot of stuff. Like, you would have seen a lot of Jack Cochran. When I say a lot of stuff, I mean a lot of snaps. You would have seen a lot of Jack Cochran, but he broke his ankle. So we'll see what they do with the linebacker position. And do they end up maybe calling somebody up, or do they do some 53-man roster, just finagling? Are they going to let somebody go to sign somebody, to activate somebody if you can only have 2 practice squad elevations? This is just going to be stuff you're curious to see, because you don't want to play all these guys, but you can't rest them all either. It's impossible. But yeah, Mike Caliendo, a lot of these young linemen, like, that's who you're going to see after the initial 5. Like, if DJ Humphries looks good for a quarter or two, the starters look good, you're probably pulling them. Like, I want to see CJ Hansen, the rookie out of Holy Cross. He was a Chiefs 7th-round pick. Maybe Wanye Morris plays some right tackle. You've got Norzad, who played every single position, I believe, along the line in college outside of left tackle. Ethan Driscoll, I believe he was the Chiefs UDFA. So there's some guys in here that you're going to want to see along the line. They've got a lot of young pieces. Patrick Mahomes, he will probably be inactive. Carson Wentz, he's going to be your guy. And then maybe Chris Oladokun has been reported to be getting some snaps too. Like, you don't want to chance Carson Wentz getting hurt in this game. You've needed a backup quarterback to come in playoff games more than once when Patrick Mahomes was a starter. Chad Henne did it a couple times. So you need to have Carson Wentz ready, but at the same time, Carson Wentz is going to want to show off what he has in case he's a potential candidate to be a starter next year for teams who need a quarterback, maybe a bridge quarterback if they're going to bring in a rookie. P. Ryan, maybe P. Ryan will carry some of the workload, but you don't like P. Ryan's valuable to me as a 3rd down back. So I'll be very curious to see if they're just putting Carson Steele out there a piss ton, or what you're going to do there. Rotate in Najee Johnson, get him some more rep. Kingsley Suamataia, he's a guy that's probably going to get some work. Like, if you want to see what your 2nd-round rookie can do after shutting him down earlier on in the season, this is the game to do it. Peyton Hendershot, like, Kelsey's probably not playing, so Peyton Hendershot's going to get a lot of work. You don't need to know what you have in Noah Gray. You already know. I don't know how much he's going to play. Nico Remigio might be one of your primary receivers. Like, that's going to be fun. I put him on the thumbnail. Nico Remigio might be the guy. He might be running a lot of routes out there on offense. You could see what he has. I'm assuming Justin Watson will too. Again, you cannot rest everybody. Hollywood Brown might see a little bit of snaps, but probably not a ton. You have a bunch of guys on IR that you would have liked to see out there, but you can't. Jalen Watson might be able to return sometime in the playoffs, which is awesome, but Jared Wiley out for the year. Rashee Rice, he's done. Sky Moore, he's done. That's been confirmed. McCole Hardman has a chance to return sometime in the playoffs if you need him. And then the only other players to talk about, and then I'll definitely get to chat and just kind of hang out with you guys. I just wanted to go through the roster and share my thoughts on like who could potentially be seeing some playing time this Sunday. We've already talked about a few, but like, will Keontae Ingram see some time? And then if Chris Oladokun is the other guy on the practice squad that gets elevated, you can only have 2 elevations. So that's going to be very interesting to see. I know some of you would probably like to see Tyquan Thornton. I don't know if he's ready yet. But there you go. Those are some of my thoughts. I'll do a preview video of Chiefs and Broncos later this week, but I didn't want to title the stream something, who plays and who doesn't, without actually going through that and giving some of my thoughts. Chaos in order. Thanks for the 10. I might sound like a traitor, but I'd actually rather lose to the Broncos so we don't have to play the Bengals in the playoffs. I'd rather play Bo Nix and Joe Burrow. Yeah, I'm not going to lie. I'm just at the point where I think anybody can get it. Anybody and everybody can get it. I think the Chiefs match up well against a lot of people. And if you're playing the Bengals in the divisional round, that means they beat the Buffalo Bills in the wild card round. Like, it's not a guarantee you're going to play the Bengals. It's not like if the Bengals knock out the Bills, that's crazy. I think the Bills are probably more scary than the Bengals. If you say, hey, would you rather play the Bengals or the Bills? I'm probably going with the Bengals. Their defense is atrocious. It's horrible. It's awful. The Chiefs have a good defense and their offense is humming. Again, that's no disrespect to like Joe Burrow, T. Higgins, Jamar Chase, who might have the triple crown this year, which means I think he's on pace to lead the NFL out of all receivers in receptions, touchdowns, and yards. There's been less than 10 or 12 receivers that have pulled off a triple crown in the season before. So they are definitely balling. They're doing well, playing great ball. But if you had to pick between the Bills and the Bengals, I might pick the Bengals. Now, if I had to pick between the Bengals and the Broncos, let's say the Broncos somehow beat the Bills, I would prefer the Broncos. It's not easy to beat a team 3 times in a year, so we'll see. The Chiefs might not even beat the Broncos on Sunday if they're playing or resting a lot of their key starters. But yeah, I mean, if you're just straight up comparing quarterbacks, I'd rather play against Bo Nix in a hostile environment in the playoffs than Joe Burrow. Yeah, Joe Burrow has proven he's not really fazed by that stuff. He can come into Arrowhead, doesn't really get bothered by the crowd, doesn't really bend under pressure. So I understand what you're saying in that regard for sure, but just know, in order to play Joe Burrow in the playoffs, so that means they're going to beat the Bills. They would have to roll through the Buffalo Bills. And in order for the Bengals to even get in, to be clear, the Broncos have to lose. So the Chiefs have to beat the Broncos. The Dolphins have to lose to the Jets. And the Bengals have to lose to the Steelers, or beat the Steelers, rather. That's the 3 things that have to happen for the Bengals to get in. If the Broncos lose and the Dolphins win, the Dolphins are in. So it's not a likely chance that the Bengals get in. It's not impossible. I hope D-Hop gets the 500K. Yeah, maybe they bring D-Hop in the red zone, man. Line him up and say, hey, we're going to throw a couple passes your way. Let's see if we can get you a touchdown. Now, that incentive thing might be known by the Broncos defense by that time, so you're going to have to watch out for that. But yeah, it's a definite possibility, and I would love for D-Hop to get that 500K. Like, he's made a lot of money in his career, but 500K? Holy smokes, that's a lot of freaking money, man. After taxes, it's probably 250K, but still, 250K? That's more than a lot of people, the majority of the planet, makes in 2, 3, 4 years. It's a lot of money. When do they put out the game day roster? The game day roster, as far as like who you know who's going to play and inactives, like 90 minutes before the game. So the Chiefs play the Broncos Sunday at 3:30. You will know around like 2 o'clock. Yeah, you'll know around like 2 o'clock. We'll know more this week. Like, Andy Reid will probably say in a presser some of the people he might not be playing, but you won't know for sure until about 90 minutes, 2 hours before the game. James with a 5. What's up, man? Resident Broncos fan in the house. Hey, bro, I know the point of the game is to win, but can we have this one? You guys can kick our butts in the playoffs later. Thank you. Yeah, I mean, I'll be intrigued to see how this game plays out, because if Chris Oladokun is playing in the 3rd and 4th quarter, I don't know that I have a ton of faith that the Chiefs are going to be able to pull out this W. I'm not going to say they can't. I'm not going to say that it's impossible, but the odds are going to go down. If you have no Mahomes, you have no Kelsey, no Chris Jones, probably no Trent McDuffie, doubt Nick Bolton plays much, and then you have Wentz for a bit and he gets pulled after the 1st quarter, 2nd quarter. Like, I don't know how much he's actually going to play, but yeah, I mean, I would assume the Broncos win this game. It's probably it's going to be the only game where I when I do my score predictions and my preview, that I'm probably rolling with the Denver Broncos winning. I've picked the Chiefs to win every single game this year, but I would be pretty surprised if the Broncos lost this game. With that being said, that means the Bengals are bounced. That also means the Dolphins are bounced as well in the the Broncos would be the 7th seed. But we'll see. I'm not going to say that it's impossible, but the odds are definitely going to be in the Broncos' favor. Cole, I used to think my dad was crazy listening to sports talk. Now that's all I do. Hey, let's go, man. Let's go. Heck yeah. I mean, I could listen to music, but like I would rather learn. And if I'm like, I do this is my job, right? Just talking Chiefs and football. Like now in my free time, that's all I listen to. Other podcasts, watching games, studying film, anything I can do to try to just soak up more knowledge about football so the more I soak up, the more I can kind of just communicate to you guys, or when I call games or when I do short form content, all that stuff. It's just more helpful. But even before I did this for a living, I was listening to a lot of sport talk radio too, because like I wanted to know more about the Chiefs or the ins and outs or just study stuff. So I definitely feel you and can relate there. Bro, if we lose against the Chiefs backups, we have a lot more problems than we thought. Yeah, I don't know that you will, but Broncos fans would not be happy if you lost to the Chiefs when they rested a lot of their key starters. Alex said the NFL blessed the Browns with a Saturday game, so their season ends earlier than most. True. Yeah, their season will be over. Years watching Perna get pissed. Yes, sir. It's been a lot of fun years. Do you think the Chiefs should re-sign Justin Reed? Good question. We'll see if they do. I like Justin Reed, but the question to me is, how high are they on Jaden Hicks? Do they feel like he could sort of take that role in some way, shape, or form? I don't know, but I know they're pretty high on Jaden Hicks, and we'll kind of have to see what that looks like after the season is over. You're going to have a lot of decisions on your hands. There's a lot of free agents, a lot of things to think about. Then obviously you've got the draft, and the process starts all over again, and we'll do plenty of videos covering roster, my thoughts on who could stay, who could go, what could happen. Like all that's going to take place after this season, and I will definitely talk about it in depth. Derek D with the 17 months. Happy New Year's, Cole, to both you and your family. Yeah, Happy New Year's to you too as well. So if the Broncos, Bengals, and Dolphins all lose, then Denver gets in anyway. Yeah, if Denver gets to join the dance, let them do so on a low note, right? Yeah, so if you go to the playoff machine, I believe that is what you would see. Like this is week 18. So if you say the Bengals lost, so you got to give the game to the Steelers, then the Broncos lost, so you got to give the game to the Chiefs, and then the Dolphins lost, the Broncos still get in as the 7th seed. So that is another scenario. That's the 4th scenario. If they all lose, the Broncos get in. Now, again, if the Dolphins win here, they're in at the 7th seed. Okay? Or if the Bengals beat the Steelers and the Broncos lose, they're in as a 7th seed. But yeah, you're right. That's the 4th scenario that could play out. If all 3 teams lose, the Broncos still get in. So the Chiefs backups could somehow beat them. Then the Steelers could beat the Bengals, and the Jets could beat the Dolphins. I really feel like the Dolphins, even with their backup quarterback, because I don't think Tua Tagovailoa is trending, at least at this point in time, towards playing. He has a hip pointer. I really think they could win. I think they could beat the Jets with their backup quarterback. It's Snoop Huntley, I'm pretty sure. Now, this game, I'm really not sure about. Talking Bengals-Steelers. The Steelers have not looked good lately. Even with the return of George Pickens, they did not look good at all against the Chiefs. If you're going to have a shootout, I would probably take Joe Burrow over Russell Wilson and company if the Steelers are going to be looking like they have been. Now, the Bengals defense is absolutely Swiss cheese. If anybody can have a shootout and have a good game offensively, it's going to be a team that's playing against the Bengals defense, because they are bad. They are pretty bad. Bolton needs re-signed. Yeah, he's going to be a free agent. That's going to be one of the key guys to talk about, him and Trey Smith. Pickens pouts too much. I mean, he is an emotional guy for sure. Derek with the 5 gifted. Dude, thank you so much, man. I appreciate you. Is Hollywood Brown playing? Yeah, I mean, we don't know exactly who is or isn't playing. I kind of, if you rewind the stream, I went through the roster and gave my thoughts. You can't sit everybody. He might get some reps. I mean, you only have so many receivers. Nico Remigio can only run so many routes. Tight end Peyton Hendershot can only run so many routes. Like, you need some guys out there. You might see a lot of Justin Watson. But yeah, Hollywood might very well get some snaps out there as well. Taylor is guaranteed $20 million, so that's good. Yeah, I think Jawan Taylor is probably going to be on the roster next year. Yo, let's freaking go, James. Bengals defense are as useless as a... Whoa, Charles. Yeah, I mean, they're not good, to say the least. Yeah, they are not good, to say the least. Now, their offense is good, and that's where you're going to have to watch. Aaron Rodgers has dragged the Jets to the lowest point possible. It's actually crazy to think that the Jets last year were doing better without Aaron Rodgers. I mean, that's pretty unreal, if you ask me. They all play against the Broncos. We don't save people. That's not who the Chiefs are. I mean, that is absolutely who the Chiefs are. Week 18, they're resting key starters. So I don't know what you're talking about, Mary. You might be on that Mary Jane because they're resting key starters just like they did last year against the Chargers. Patrick Mahomes didn't play. Travis Kelce didn't play. Chris Jones only played because he got a sack incentive. Key starters are not playing against the Denver Broncos. Mark my words. There's going to be some people that have to play that are starters. You can't rest everybody. It's impossible. Don with the 25 months. Thank you so much, bro. 25 months. Are we still going to have Rashee Rice next season? Yeah, for sure. Did you see what Taylor did to J.J. Watts? Yeah, he didn't allow any pressures. He also got flagged 4 times. So there's like a little balance there. I don't like the penalties all the time. A couple of them were soft. I get it, but he's like the 5th most flagged tackle in the NFL. He was the most flagged tackle in the NFL last year. So there's a little bit of a trade-off and frustration with Jawan Taylor. When not drawing flags, he's great. Like, I feel like he's an above-average right tackle when not getting flagged. But there are times where I might take a flag rather than Patrick Mahomes getting pancaked. So potato, or there's a negative this way if he gets flagged, but maybe even a more of a negative the other way if he doesn't get flagged and the guy blows by him and Mahomes gets lit up. So there's some trade-offs for sure. But I'm not going to sit here and say Jawan Taylor is awful, horrible, waste, garbage, because he's not. He just has to work on the drawing less penalties from here and there. But when he's not drawing penalties, he's an above average right tackle for sure. He's not, I wouldn't say he's not in the like an elite category top 5, but serviceable for sure. And like that's all you need on that side. Mahomes can see that side. He can't see his blind side. That's been the problem for the Chiefs all season long. The revolving door of left tackles, 4 of them. Kingsley Suamataia, Wanye Morris, DJ Humphries, he hurt his hamstring, and then Joe Thuney had to kick the left tackle. And if DJ Humphries isn't good to go for this game against the Broncos, I think Joe Thuney is your left tackle for the playoffs. Yeah, Tony got released by the Browns. He's a free agent. Yep, Pacheco is playing. Andy Reid said Monday he's probably not going to play because he's dealing with a rib injury. Yeah. Allie said, I'll take 4 penalties a game versus no pressures or sacks. I don't know. I don't mind a pressure or 2 because Mahomes can see that side. So if Mahomes is able to step up and around the pressure and make a play happen when he extends it and moves the chains, and it's a 20-yard gain and he's flagged for a 10-yard hold and it negates, it's a 30-yard penalty basically because it takes away the 20-yard gain and moves the Chiefs back 10, like that hurts. But yeah, I mean, there's going to be times where he's going to draw flags and it just kind of is what it is right now. Yeah, I don't think Pacheco's going to play right now because he's dealing with a rib injury. They're trying to get him healthy. Brenda DeRuse with the 26 months. Grandma HBTC in the house. Happy New Year to all. Happy New Year, Grandma. Happy New Year. I just saw you for dinner. But Happy New Year, let's go. I just had a 15-hour shift at work, said Marcus with the 5, and still catch a live Q&A. Let's freaking go. Happy New Year, everybody. Heck yeah, man. Happy New Year, Marcus. Thank you for the 5. Casey Lion Squad with the 2. Travis Kelce leads in Pro Bowl voting. Let's go. Yeah, I'm not going to lie. Like, I don't care a lot about Pro Bowl voting anymore, but it does affect players' money a little bit, and I guess more than I thought, still their Hall of Fame. It affects their ability to get into the Hall of Fame. Like, I don't really feel like it should. But yeah, so those are important. And so I'm happy to see Kelsey nominated and winning. I'm happy to see Carson Steele and other players in there, and I'm definitely vote for him. If I see the Chiefs or somebody tweet it out, and you can retweet on X or Twitter or whatever as a Pro Bowl vote, I do it. But yeah, the Pro Bowl is not what it once was, that's for sure. But I am happy to see that. I think the power of the Swifties a little bit is helping that. Chiefs Kingdom is obviously rocking with him too, but the Swifties will take you over the top, which is cool. Marcus, thanks so much for the gifted, man, as well. Do you think Hollywood should play? Yeah, he'll probably play a little bit. Just, you can't rest everybody. So it's like, if you had to choose, like, I mean, Xavier Worthy's probably not going to play a lot. I wouldn't think. D-Hop will play a little. Nico Remigio will get a lot of snaps, but like, you're going to have to rotate guys in and out. You can't sit everybody. So Hollywood might see a little bit of reps. I don't know that he needs a ton of reps. I mean, he doesn't need to build rapport with Carson Wentz, Chris Oladokun. He needs to build rapport with Patrick Mahomes. And if you look at Hollywood Brown's body of work since returning from IR, just 2 games, but 4 or 5 catches for 45, 50 yards a game. Like, he looks fine to me. He doesn't, when I see him out on the field, he doesn't scream to me, that guy needs more reps. So I don't think he needs to play a lot, but he might have to out of necessity. Again, it's not a 90-man roster, 53-man roster. You have to be able to play some of these guys. Rachel with the 22 months. And Happy New Year, Kingdom fam. Yeah, if you're going out and having fun, enjoying your evening, please be safe. Please be smart. Get an Uber. Call a friend. Don't be out there trying to drive. Don't do it. It's not worth it. And be really safe out there, because a lot of people are going to try to do it, and it's very dangerous. When does the game start? 3:30 on Sunday. Mahomes-aholic. What's up, dude? With the 5. Big up, Cole. Love you, man. Much love from England. All the way from England across the pond. Cheers, man. I have some Michelobes. Don't make fun of me. My dad and brother like them, and we had a party for Christmas over the weekend. I don't mind Michelob, but it tastes like water. Anyway, I had some leftover Michelob, so I'm having a couple. But cheers, man. All the way from England. That's freaking awesome. Swifties in the house. Yeah, there's probably some Swifties in here. I mean, I feel like Swifties and Chiefs Kingdom, it's like potato these days. You know, if you're a Chiefs fan, you probably rock with Taylor Swift in some capacity. I'm not saying you have to listen to her music every day. If you're a Swiftie, you probably rock with the Chiefs. It's a wonderful partnership. Yo, what's up, Chicka Wolf? There's absolutely no reason to drink and drive. Yeah, heck yeah, man. No reason. Carson Steele's going to get some carries. Yeah, he's going to take the brunt of that, I would assume. Adrian, you're right. Less flags would be appreciated for sure, R2. What's up, Charlie? Crafty said, Happy New Year's, Cole. Have you checked Fairweather Girl channel? She's a pretty good relationship with Chiefs fans, so she's a Bills fan. Yeah, you know what's funny is after a couple of you guys have recommended her, like, I don't know if YouTube was reading the comments or what, but her videos have been recommended to me on my homepage. And I haven't watched a lot of them, but I've seen her because she dresses nice and talks like on a mic, and she's a Bills fan, but talks football. I have seen some of her videos, yes. I'm good, boys. How are you? What are your guys' plans for New Year's? What are you up to? Let me know. It's New Year's Eve right now. The KC Lions Squad with it too. The game of the week will be Lions and Vikings. Oh, dude, 1,000%. The 14-2 Lions taking on the 14-2 Vikings on Sunday Night Football. The winner not only wins the NFC North, but is the 1 seed in the NFC. The loser will be 14-3 in the 5 seed. How insane is that? 14-3 and you're the 5 seed. Unreal division, the AFC North. Can't wait to watch that game. It's going to be a banger. Absolute banger. Any special dinner plan for New Year's? We had pizza with the fam, and my kids are already in bed, dude. So for New Year's, me and Danny hang out, watch a movie or whatever, and then we just wait for fireworks to go off and hope that it doesn't wake our girls. If it wakes our girls, we put them to bed, then we go to bed. Danny's probably going to go to bed at like 10 p.m., let's be honest, and I'll be awake watching something. I've been watching The Agency on Paramount Plus and Dexter, the prequel, but I'm all caught up on Dexter, so I'll probably be watching that until the alarm goes off or the fireworks go off. Shouldn't Rashee be back? He'll be back next year. at some point. He won't be back this year. Andy Reid confirmed that he and Sky Moore has no chance of returning before the end of the season. Countess with the 5. Let's go. Happy New Year's, Cole and Kingdom. Thank you so much, you too. May 2025 be awesome. Love being here and love listening to your content. Can't wait for another year with you all. Hey, the honor is mine. I'm glad that, we have 900 people in here on New Year's Eve. I was debating on not doing a live stream because I was like, it's New Year's Eve. I don't know what people are going to be doing. But I said, you know what? If I do a short live stream, we've been live for 35 minutes right now, and I'll be live for a little while longer. But I was like, you know what? I feel like it's early enough in the night. I'll go live. We'll talk Chiefs. We'll talk some playoffs and just how Week 18 could look as far as who's playing, who's not. And whoever tunes in. And if not, you tune in afterwards. But there's 900 people in chat right now, and I really appreciate you guys. Lucas, thank you for the kind words, man. Brownie said, aloha, man. Who would you rather get into the playoffs? Dolphins, Broncos, or Bengals? The honest truth is the Dolphins. I would much rather see the Dolphins get in there. If for some reason you somehow have to end up playing the Dolphins, I don't think they would make it past the wild card, to be honest with you. But that means they would have to come to Arrowhead and play again in the cold. They are not good against the cold. The Broncos are fine in the cold. They're familiar with the Chiefs. They match up well just because they're a division rival. And then the Bengals match up well against the Chiefs because I don't know why. The Chiefs have beat them the last 3 times in a row. Don't get it twisted, but they always match up really well against the Kansas City Chiefs. So if I had to choose between those 3 teams, I am definitely choosing the Dolphins. Joe E said, who do you like winning the NFC? It's probably... Dude... What do I want to say here? I was going to say a few different things at once, but I want to get my thoughts. Like the Lions, I like them. I thought they were my favorite, but their defense is so beat up, so banged up. They're going to have to score 40 points a game in order to make it to the Super Bowl. So I do worry about the Lions. The Packers, they are going to be in the picture, but they've lost to the Lions. They've lost to the Vikings. I don't really know. I think they've lost to the Eagles too. So I would probably say my 2 favorites right now, it's going to be Vikings, Eagles, and the Lions are like right in there as well. Dude, it might very well be the Eagles. Editor Troy on the channel, you guys have known him for a long time. He's a diehard Vikings fan, so I will probably root for the Vikings. KOC and that offense is doing great things. Sam Darnold is playing well, and they have a pretty good defense also. So I'm kind of high on the Vikings. We'll see how this game on Sunday Night Football plays out. But if it's not the Vikings or the Lions, it's probably going to be the Eagles. What do you guys think about the NFC? Yeah, I see Vikings or Eagles. Packers look bad last week. Yeah, it's any given Sunday. It's probably going to be one of those 4 teams. But I'm going to say Vikings and Eagles are up here for me right now. Then the Lions are just a hair below them. I'm not saying the Lions can't get to the Super Bowl. They're just going to have to score a piss ton of points in the playoffs in order to win. Their defense is just so banged up. It's bad. They're giving up an average of 30 points a game over the last 5. And they just allowed the 49ers to score 34. Well, they were just talking NFC, Terry, but if you're talking AFC teams, that's going to be the same 3 or 4 that are always in the conversation right now. Ravens, Bills, Chiefs. We're looking at the playoff picture right here. That's probably the 3 I see making a deep run on the AFC. Chiefs is who I'm rocking with to win a three-peat. I have the Chiefs winning the Super Bowl. But the Bills, obviously they beat the Chiefs in the regular season. The Chiefs have beat the Bills the last 3 times in the playoffs. The Ravens are good, though. They're playing really good ball, too. Lamar just has to play better in the playoffs. He's 2-4 in the playoffs. And sure, wins aren't a QB stat, whatever you want to say, but Lamar has lost them some games in the playoffs by underperforming. Again, if we're looking at the NFC, it's either going to be the Lions, the Eagles, the Vikings. But, you can't sleep on the Rams. Matt Stafford and the Rams are kind of up and down to me. The Bucs are playing good ball. So I don't really want to count any of these teams out. But if I had to pick 3 from each, I'm going Lions, Eagles, or Vikings, and then I'm going Chiefs, Bills, or Ravens at this point in time. Casey Lyon with the 2 said, we love your content, Cole. We're here for you. Well, thank you, man. I appreciate everybody being in here. the Bills. They just said, who do you think have good shots of making deep playoff runs? So those are the three that I think. If you think somebody else other than the Chiefs, Bills, or Ravens, I mean, who? I don't really have faith that the Steelers make it far. I don't think the Chargers are quite there yet, and I really think the Texans are probably one and done. First on January for me, 4 p.m. I had to work all day, but I was able to get a Kansas City Chiefs shirt. Nice rugby. You got Miami taking the 7th seed? Oh, no. I was just running the playoff generator earlier, and we were looking at like potential things that could happen. But if the Dolphins beat the Jets, they're in if the Broncos lose. I think the Broncos win, so I honestly think this is the 7. But like, I don't know if the Broncos are quite ready for a Super Bowl run yet either. That's what I'm saying. Like, if I had to pick 3 teams to make a deep playoff run in the AFC, it's Chiefs, Bills, Ravens. One of those 3. If the Chiefs don't make it to the Super Bowl, which I think they will, I have them winning the Super Bowl. It's got to be one of these 2, right? I mean, surely it's not the Broncos, Chargers, Texans, or Steelers, right? Obviously, I could be wrong. It's any given Sunday. We've seen upsets happen, and crazier things have certainly happened. You've never listened to a Taylor Swift song ever? Dude, my girls love Shake It Off. My daughters do. It's like an old one, though. You seen me in a movie? No, you didn't. You might have saw me on Chiefsaholic documentary. Do I like the Commanders? Yeah, I think Jaden Daniels is great. He's another team where it's kind of like, I don't know if Washington is quite ready for a deep playoff run, but they certainly have the pieces to be able to potentially pull it off. But yeah, Jaden Daniels is a lot of fun. They just had a really fun game. It went into overtime. Who did they play? That was a really fun game. I watched it. Who was it? Commanders and Falcons. That was a fun one. Dan, thank you so much for the 4 months. Favorite player on the Chiefs? I mean, probably Mahomes. Kelsey. Cole, how do you think our offense would stack up against the Eagles defense? Jalen Carter's scary. Yeah, I mean, basically, the last couple of Super Bowls, the last few Super Bowls that the Chiefs have played in, they've kind of been outnumbered, like on paper, talking about Mahomes and his offense against the opposing defense, but they found ways to win. So do I think the Eagles defense is really good, and do I think they're going to be a problem? I mean, yeah, of course. They've given the Chiefs fits, I mean, every time. And then Super Bowl 57 was not an easy win. So yeah, I think they would be a problem, but I do think if anybody can figure out a game plan and improvise in the second half, it's going to be Andy Reid, Patrick Mahomes, and they're going to get that done. He's perfect for the fan base. Most Philly fans are trash, not all, but a lot. Oh, are you talking about Nick Sirianni? Yeah, here's my thing. I have a couple friends of mine, buddies in the space who run Eagles channels on YouTube, and I don't like Nick Sirianni, and they know that, but I always say, hey, who cares if 31 other fan bases hate Nick Sirianni? If Eagles fans rock with him and the coaches and players respect him, that's really all that matters, even though I think he's a freaking asshat. Like, that's all that really matters at the end of the day. So if that's the case, then fine. I mean, they're playing good ball. They're favorites, one of the favorites to make it to the NFC Championship or the Super Bowl for a reason. Dan, again, thank you for the 4 months. Kiddos with the 5. Happy New Year. Happy New Year to you too. 007 Robot Chicken. Let's go. Love that name. With the 10 said, hey, Cole, just curious which Chiefs season has been your favorite postseason run? I feel like last year's postseason run was the most fun I've ever had watching football. That was one of the most satisfying runs ever because you beat the Dolphins at home, you shut Tyreek Hill's mouth all the way up, locked him down, L'Jarius Sneed did. You then go to Buffalo. Mahomes can't win a game on the road. He's never had to do it. He's not going to be able to get it done. You beat the Bills in Buffalo. You then go to Ravens hostile territory and beat them in Baltimore. That was probably like my most satisfying playoff run because like the Chiefs were just straight up the villains. They were just traveling, taking names and kicking asses. So like that was probably one of my favorite ones, but like I think the Super Bowl 54 run was crazy too. Like looking at the Chiefs falling behind the Texans by like 20 whatever points and then coming back and winning by 20. It was like 51-31 by the end of that. Like there was just some really memorable games leading up to Super Bowl 54 that were a lot of fun as well. Yeah, it was an amazing run last year for sure. Proved everybody wrong. Brittany Mahomes about to have third kid, three-peat. It's Mahomes' destiny. Heck yeah. Yeah, Mahomes wanted the first round bye so they could have their baby during the bye week, which is crazy. Pretty crazy. You met Justin Reed and Tyreek Hill. That's pretty cool. Do you know how to gain confidence for me? You're 16 heading into this year's rugby. Ooh, playing under 21s. Yeah, I mean, confidence in rugby? I think you just got to have the mindset and the attitude of like, no pain, no gain, and just go for it because rugby is violent. But just put in the work, man. Put in the work. Hit the gym. Do your cross training, and it'll be fine. Cole, can you show the bobble? Yeah, Marcus won this bobblehead, man. I got to ship it off. But Marcus won the bobblehead. Come on, focus up. Kelsey bobblehead, signed by Travis Kelce. It has his signature on there. So congrats for winning that, dude. That was pretty crazy when the random generator drew your name. I was like, no way. What happened to the rugby guy? Louis Rees-Zammit. I think he's on the practice squad for the Jags. He probably likes it there. It's like really good weather. He needed a year or two to marinate and learn NFL. I mean, people that actually thought he was going to make the 53 and like be a contributor his first year ever playing football, it was kind of an uphill battle, to be honest with you. I thought if anything, he would stay on the Chiefs practice squad and just slow cook for a year on the International Player Pathway Program practice squad spot that's available. I butchered the phrasing there, but he ended up signing with the Jags practice squad after cutdowns. Marcus, I appreciate you, man. Let's get it correct. Brett Veach was the best thing to happen to the Chiefs. Then Reed, then Mahomes. Well, Andy Reid brought Veach. So I would probably flip that and say Andy Reid was the best thing to happen to the Chiefs. If you want to put Veach that high, I mean, that's fine. But remember, Andy Reid's the one that brought Brett Veach. And if your reasoning for that is because Brett Veach was pounding on the table for Dorsey and company to draft Patrick Mahomes, and that's fine. I think Brett Veach is a great GM. He has misses, but he's had a lot of hits as well. The blue chip players that people argue are all John Dorsey picks. I understand. Like, technically, Mahomes is a Dorsey pick. Chris Jones is a Dorsey pick. Travis Kelce is a Dorsey pick. All Hall of Famers, the best at their position. But Brett Veach has drafted some good players. Not all good players, but like Rashee Rice is a hit. Creed Humphrey is a hit. Nick Bolton's been a good pick for us. I mean, Trent McDuffie, if I didn't say him. I feel like McDuffie, Creed Humphrey, Rashee Rice, those are all really good ones. In that 2022 draft class in particular, after trading away Tyreek Hill and stacking up all those draft picks, you're getting players like McDuffie, Karlaftis, Sky Moore. That didn't really pan out. But others, Leo Chanel. I mean, there's a bunch in the back, in the secondary. Brian Cook, Joshua Williams, Jalen Watson. Like, you got all those. You got the Fab Five. Najee was snagged. I might be missing one guy, but Isaiah Pacheco was that year as well. So he's been hitting more than he's been missing lately, but you definitely don't hit them all. And being a GM, it's not just drafting. It's contracts, cap work. Like, I feel like he's been doing a pretty good job, and the Chiefs are headed to a three-peat for a reason. Bengals won't beat the Bills. Yeah, I don't think they will, but I will say, like, I feel like the Bengals have a better chance of beating the Bills than the Broncos, than the Dolphins. But I feel like the Bills are a great team, and they will probably be the ones that the Chiefs see in the AFC Championship game if both teams make it there. How many games suspension will Rashee get? 4, 6, somewhere around there. That's my best guess. I don't know. But that'll start out the season like that. JPap with the 2 said, let Broncos in or have Bengals beat Bills round 1. I mean, here's the thing. If the Bengals beat the Bills round 1, you're playing the Bengals in the divisional round. So that is it seems like a harder path to me if you're going to have to go Bengals, then Ravens, then Super Bowl. I like the idea probably of the Broncos. Here's my thing. Anybody can get it. I don't really care. But if you're asking which would I prefer, I mean, probably the Broncos. The Broncos play the Bills. The Bills probably win. So then you have to play like the Texans or the Steelers in the divisional. Then you play the Bills in the AFC Championship. Like, that might be a little bit easier of the two options. Hannah with the 2, KOC and Reed's offensive minds battling in the Super Bowl. It would be a fire battle for sure. Yeah, do I live in Kansas City? Yeah. I live in Lee Summit, which is like 15 minutes away from Kansas City, but I was born and raised in the Kansas City area and still live here. Yes, sir. I don't understand why McAfee has Rodgers on every Tuesday. Just part of the show. But yeah, Rodgers would be saying all kinds of stupid stuff. But yeah, seeing KOC and Andy Reid battling it out together would be absolutely awesome. Would love to see it in the Super Bowl. And then I would love to see the Chiefs get a three-peat. Troy, my editor, might not talk to me for weeks after that game, but would still love to see the Chiefs get that three-peat, something that's never, ever been done before for a reason. The Chiefs are eyeing it. Eye on the prize. Week 18, let's get that out of the way. Rest some of the starters. Win or loss, doesn't matter. Chiefs still have the 1 seed. You then get the first round bye. Let's see who wins those. I will be streaming those games. I'll stream the playoff 2 wildcard games during wildcard weekend. And then, of course, we'll get ready for Chiefs and whoever they play in the divisional round. But that's going to do it for me tonight. I just wanted to do a quick stream. It's just under an hour, but I wanted to go live on New Year's Eve. It's Tuesday night. Normally do a Q&A anyway. I appreciate the heck out of you guys. Happy New Year. Please be safe. It's been an absolutely incredible 2024. I am extremely grateful, very appreciative of you guys, all the support. KC Lion Squad with the 2 said Brett has done great job filling holes and roster needs. Yeah, he really has, man. He's done a great job. Not perfect, but what GM is. And at the end of the day, all you can do is look at the team that the Chiefs have built over the years and see how good of a job they've really been doing. Nobody's won more games than the Chiefs since, go back however many years, for sure since Mahomes became a starter. KC with the 10, I'm so late, probably already discussed, but I'm keeping Joe Thuney at left tackle. Found a groove, look at the stats and efficiency since that move. Thoughts? Happy New Year. Yeah, I'll answer this question and then get out of here. But Marcus, thank you for the gifted as well, man. Appreciate you. As far as that goes, if DJ Humphries can't play Week 18 against the Broncos at all, his hamstring's not good to go, I don't see your other option. I think you have to roll with Joe Thuney. Now, if DJ Humphries plays a half and it's solid and he looks pretty good, I think it would benefit the run game a little bit. If you look at the run game since Joe Thuney took over at left tackle and Mike Caliendo's playing left guard, I do feel like the run game has struggled a little bit. You've countered that in the quick passing game. Mahomes registered his second fastest release time against, it was 2 weeks ago, so whoever that was, would have been the Texans game, and then his fastest release time was against the Steelers. It was either that order or flip those, but they countered the lack of being able to establish an efficient run game with the quick passing game. And I do think the O-line has a little bit to play with that, because I think Joe Thuney is absolutely elite at the guard spot and does help with the run game. But yeah, if you've got to go in with Thuney at left tackle, I'm not scared about that. I think he will do a good job, a serviceable job. Again, I think he's an elite left guard, and he's playing at a serviceable to a slightly above average tackle, and he's a guard. He's a build of a guard. So that just shows how good Joe Thuney really is. But Marcus, thanks again for the 2. Appreciate y'all. Have a great and safe New Year's. Thanks just for the mods holding it down, all the dono bombs and memberships. And until next time, let's go. Let's freaking go.